the Cowboys and the Lions. I want to talk about the game because huge controversial ending. We had a situation where Dallas essentially intercepts the ball. Donovan Wilson picks off Jared Goff, who you picked and is a bum, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
He's been a bum all year.
Sure.
And
real bum.
Intercepted. Game essentially should be over, right? Now, I would like to know, because I think everybody understands what happened if you're watching this, right? Dallas fucks up, and we'll talk about that. They go down, Detroit scores, goes for 2. We have the whole issue right there. But I see online everybody saying that the NFL is rigged. Oh, my God, it's rigged. I would love to know for everyone saying how it's rigged.
So do you say it every time? You say it every week.
No, I don't say it's rigged. I say they have
have a
prerogative. I said they have a prerogative.
Goodness
yes,
gracious.
they have a prerogative.
You say rigged, the word rigged every second.
My point is, I never said rigged.
Oh, my God, you said it's rigged.
The point is,
I'm going to record that
one. The point is, if this game was rigged in favor of the Cowboys, why on earth would they have thrown that tripping flag on Peyton Hendershot? They went back and showed the replay. The last drive for the Cowboys, it's 1st and 10. Tony Pollard ran for 8 yards. The foul was called on Peyton Hendershot. They went back and showed the replay. Not only was it not a foul on Hendershot, if anything, it was a foul on Detroit. It should have been a tripping foul on Aiden Hutchinson of Detroit, and I don't even think that should have been called. Regardless, let's say they don't call that flag, which if the game was rigged, they wouldn't throw that flag because it didn't happen. Pollard goes for 8 yards. It's 2nd now and 2 at the 2-minute warning, and Dallas is going to have essentially 3 plays to get 2 yards, and the game is over. It's over at that point if they don't throw that flag. If the game is rigged, they would never, ever have thrown that penalty, ever. Secondly, on the final drive, this is not uncommon. Micah Parsons got absolutely taken down twice by Penei Sewell. They didn't put a double team on him. He was taken down, armbar style by the neck twice, and that caused Jared Goff to be able to get the pass.
You're not raising enough hell about it.
So it's just ridiculous that people would think, the Cowboys get the short end of the stick on calls every single week. It happened in the Dolphins game the previous week. Regardless,
they aren't making enough stew about it.
Mike McCarthy should be taken out to the barn and put down. And I mean that figuratively, not literally. But McCarthy is the biggest idiot. He does not think predictively. He thinks reactively, right? So he thinks, we got to get the first down and put the game away. That's what he said in the press conference. Mike, why did you throw the ball 3 times? Well, you feel good about the play calls when you call them. Well, what about the idea of if you don't get them, if there's an incomplete pass after the penalty, if you run the ball 3 times and you kick a field goal, the Lions are going to get the ball back with at most 55 seconds. No timeouts having to go the length of the field. That's about a 1% chance of scoring a touchdown there.
Perspective.
And he throws, not only do they throw it, he throws a fucking bomb down the sideline.
That wasn't an intent to be a bomb. It was supposed to be out of bounds. It was just a bad throw.
It was a bad throw, but if he didn't throw it out of bounds, it would have been intercepted. There was no receiver in the area.
It was a
Regardless,
bad throw.
Idiotic decision by Mike McCarthy. And the only reason the Cowboys won is because Dan Campbell's a bigger idiot. Because the penalty was called, which, by the way, I want your take on that. But to me, the Lions were trying to fool the Cowboys doing that. It was like,
I already know my take on it.
There was 3 dudes.
I'm so smart.
There.
I already put it together.
There was 3 dudes around there trying to act like
It's
they were the
ridiculous.
eligible receiver, right? And here's the thing: why on earth, if this is a rule, then I'm all for it, right? Like, exploit the rule till it's fixed. Look at the Eagles doing the tush push, but. How in the world can 2 or 3 people report as eligible on the line? That makes no sense. First off. Second off, the guy who was sitting there reporting eligible, and John Perry, the head of officials for 25 years or whatever, came on and he said, look, even if it's not that, it's an illegal formation. The guy wasn't covered up. So it was illegal anyway. It didn't matter whether he was eligible or not. He wasn't covered up. It was an illegal formation. So it's a moot point.
Right, it is.
Okay? It's an illegal play in a multitude of ways. They tried to get cute there, and then the stubbornness of Dan Campbell to go for it from the 7 again. I mean, come on. That is so stupid. You have no one to blame but yourself at that point. No one to blame but yourself.
Agree with you on that one. Dan Campbell is an idiot for that going forward. Number one, let's go out to the breakdown. Number one, we'll talk about the call in a minute. Obviously, that call was supposed to be sneaky. It didn't work on him. They sent 2 guys out there to confuse. 1 guy reported.
3 guys.
Well, it doesn't matter. The fact is that the call was right. The call was right. Number one. That's the fact, and they're going to make a big deal about it no matter what, because they're held. By the way, they said they're going to take all the plays of Micah Parsons getting held to the league. Dallas is, come on, you should have done that week 4. Ridiculous. number two, this has to happen in post-game conference. Mike McCarthy needs to get fined, and Jerry covers it in some built-in clause of covering him and say, this is ridiculous. Mike is getting held. They're doing nothing about it. He should have stuck some of his own jabs in there against the call. He should have diverted it. Number one, do you see how many times Mike has been held? I'm not going to worry about the 2-point play that they tried to sneak by us. I would have been an asshole about it. So he doesn't cover that right. He should have just been like, no, that was bullcrap. They come in, they try to run something sneaky. One guy was not even guarded, number one, and I'm glad they threw the flag. They would have thrown the flag either way on either of the calls. There was 2 flags. So it doesn't matter. There were 2 flags thrown. As far as the 2 people be able to be eligible, it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Can't have 2 people check in on the line that are eligible when you have the rest of the receivers and tight ends eligible. That makes no sense. So number one, and no one's clarified, even in this morning's talk shows, whether 2 can report.
Yeah, they were talking about it on Undisputed. Nobody knew. Richard Sherman didn't know. Michael Irvin didn't know. Nobody knew.
And this is the one thing that they said that too this morning. You normally, and they used to always say, number 67 is reporting as eligible receiver. That needs to be reinstated. That's it.
Well,
it's over. It's over. Then everybody goes, oh, he's reinstated.
Hold on. I agree with you, but what they talked about it on Undisputed as well, and the thing that they start doing now, they stopped announcing it, but they do tell the defense who has reported as eligible. That's what Brad Allen, the official, you see him in that picture, and everybody's like talking about how they're all right there. But Brad Allen he's running away from them because the play clock's running down, and he has to run over and tell the defense. How ridiculous is that?
Stupid.
I mean, first of all, there should be a better system for it. If you're there, or just get rid of the fact that if you're one of the 5 offensive linemen, you're not eligible.
You're not eligible.
And if you are not, then you are eligible.
Yeah,
that fixes it all. It shouldn't be this. I'm reporting as eligible. I have to raise my hand or touch my chest and get recognized by the official. And I'm also couldn't stand Rex Ryan going out there and the players did everything right. Shut the fuck up.
Rex is a moron. He's trying to get a job.
He's a stupid piece of shit. I'm tired of him.
He's trying to get a job. He's talked himself. The last 4 weeks, his takes have talked him out of a job. Rex Ryan just talked himself on ESPN out of a job, a defensive coordinating job, because the way that he acts and the shit that he's been saying, he's talked himself. They're like, you know what? We don't want that guy. He was shutting up being kind of like TV friendly till about a month ago. He screwed up. He screwed himself. It's bad. I'll take $2 million and go coach. No one called him when they fired a couple of defensive coordinators. I think it was the Bills or somebody else. Anyway, the point of the matter is nobody wants him there because they know he's poisoned to go try to get a head coaching job. He doesn't want to be a defensive coordinator at all. He wants to be a head coach. So
nobody's hiring him as a head coach.
You wouldn't bring him in, so they don't want to bring him into the building. He's poison. And so that's that. Number one. Number two, Dan Campbell was wrong. Number one, Mike McCarthy's an idiot. Not only was an idiot for running it, it's an idiot for not just figuring out how to know those situations. And those are fireable offenses at the end of the year.
That's what I said.
But here's the thing. He's sort of saved by the fact that if they go to Washington, they lose, he's going to be gone.
Yeah, he will be gone.
He's gone.
Unless they were to somehow make a Super Bowl run after that.
They're not going to.
Yeah, but the fact that the
only thing we can get Super Bowl is if somebody from San Francisco gets hurt next week, and that's not going to happen.
But that's not the point. My point is this: the fact that the Eagles shit themselves and Jalen Hurts once again shit himself. I'm not done. The fact that the Eagles shit themselves, and especially Jalen Hurts, and cost them because they can't win a game against bad teams. They almost lost to the Giants on Christmas.
Let's go.
Now they lose at home to the Cardinals. And so now Dallas is gifted the number 2 seed. What that means is even if San Francisco wins their game because they're going to get the bye, they're already the 1 seed. Dallas gets 2 home playoff games. So if Dallas,
they got to beat Washington.
Dallas is assuming they beat Washington, which they're going to do.
Then.
If they get those 2 home playoff games, now their odds of winning them are exponentially higher, and I think that they probably will win 2 playoff games at home the way the rest of the NFC is playing. So now the fact is, Mike McCarthy, it's actually probably a bad thing for the Cowboys because I don't want to play
Green Bay. I don't want to play Green Bay.
They have no shot at winning a Super Bowl anyway. So now you have a very realistic path to the NFC Championship game that you didn't have before this Lions game.
That's all because of Jimmy.
If Mike wins against Washington, wins 2 playoff games, gets to an NFC title, he's not going anywhere.
No, of course not. That's not the point. The point is that those calls are horrible. Jerry already knows that. They already talked about it when they got going home last night. They already spoke about it. They already know that those plays are horrible, and they get it. He talks about on his Monday shows in Dallas on the Fan all the time. Mike McCarthy's calls, they break down down and ask Jerry about it every Monday. And he says, I don't agree with the calls, or he's pretty honest about how he feels about Mike. Pretty much that's his message to Mike, is that Monday or Tuesday morning show. They might do it tomorrow, I don't know, but you could look for it in Dallas, ESPN 105.3. My point is, because they have the fake Jerry Jones, which everybody needs to go listen to, the Musers. But the point of the matter is, number one, I agree with the calls. It was ridiculous he didn't run the ball there. Let me tell you, the defense of McCarthy. Right there, Pollard has 40 yards rushing, 45 yards, runs tentatively, I don't know what's going on with him, trying to not get injured and keep his contract.
That's what it is.
It is.
It's that combined with coming off the injury.
Either way. That's how Dak was when he got back. This first year Dak's run for years. My point is that right there is his thinking, I'm thinking, number one. Number two, horrible play call. He's horrible at clock management. And Aaron, in those situations, would have thrown the ball. They'd throw the ball. The old Green Bay that he coached, they throw the ball 3 times with Aaron Rodgers. He thinks Dak is Aaron. He thinks he can make those plays. He literally in his mind thinks of that. Dak is not that kind of player. And those situations, on a 4th and 3, maybe. But on something like that, no. Where you're throwing a bomb down the sideline.
I don't even my God. I don't even think they would have thrown with Aaron.
We already know he's bad at clock management, so that's why he did it. Yeah, that's the first thing.
Yeah, we already know that. But my point is, I don't think he would have done that even with Aaron because of the situation. The situation
he would have.
No, the situation was it was 1st and 25. So at that point, after the penalty, it wasn't 1st and 10. Now with Aaron 1st and 10, yeah, he might have thrown the ball like he did, but I don't think he would have done that. Even with Aaron 1st and 25, it didn't make sense.
Yeah, he would.
Now, hold on.
He'd have Aaron throw a 5-yard to 10-yard slant route.
Yeah, but even with Aaron, the first play, once they did the first play wasn't atrocious because it was a high percentage throw. Like, okay, if we need to get a couple yards to guarantee a field goal, even though that guy's money regardless, Brandon Aubrey. But the first play was a safe route. It was a quick slant route to CeeDee Lamb against man coverage. The guy had outside leverage. He was going to be open. So it's a simple play. After that, now you're back in range easily. It's simple. Even Aaron would have run the ball on 2nd down. They would have. And
might have checked down to a run.
Maybe on 3rd down, maybe if it was 3rd and 4 or 5 and it was a chance to win the game. But no, he threw the ball on 2nd and 14 and 3rd and 14. That's what was ridiculous about it.
Number one is I challenge that Dallas will go into Washington and beat the hell out of them. I challenge that thought. No, I'm not joking.
You just say this every
Washington's going to know. They're going to show up. They hate Dallas. They hate him.
That doesn't make a difference. They're not even trying to win. They just want a better draft pick.
Not now.
No, here's what happened this week, and you can deny this all you
want.
No,
they put Heineken.
No, what happened this week is Ron Rivera thinks that he's not getting fired yet, which is already a done deal. So he's trying to win games still. So he said Jacoby Brissett is the starter. And then the ownership called down and said, sir, no, we're starting Sam Howell because we don't want to win the game. No. And they lost. They got smacked. They're not beating anyone. No. They're going to get killed by Dallas, number one. Number two, Dallas beats all the NFC East teams anyway. That's what they do. They're not good against good teams. They sucked against Detroit. They're not playing great football. They're not losing to a Washington team who doesn't care.
And you just made a point that I keep saying to you, and it's the same thing with Texas. We lost our running back. This applies to Dallas. So I'm done. We're done with this. But I'll say this one thing. If you look at Connors and you look at how he ran against the Eagles, that is the kind of running back. Not that I want him, but James Conner, if you get guys like that in the playoffs, you win. That's it. Baltimore, in the end, is going to be running down everybody's throat as much as they pass when they get to the playoffs.
Not without Keaton Mitchell.
With the playoffs, yeah. You said he wasn't that big of a deal. He's a third stringer.
No, I said he's not a massive loss. But
he's a massive loss.
Okay,
he's a massive loss.
So if he is a massive loss, how are they going to run down their throat?
They're going to figure out a way. I guarantee their line is going to step it up, and they're going to run because they're going to have to.
Lamar can't play in the playoffs.
That's fine.
He cannot play in the playoffs.
He's going to the Super Bowl
every year. He has less
next
playoff
week I'm
wins
wearing
than
my
Dak does.
Next week I'm wearing my jersey. Number one.
Your jersey's right there.
Yeah, I'm going to wear it. Number one. Number two, I'll make this quick. Let me get to my point. The fact is that we don't have that going into the playoffs. You have to have it. The Rams running back. You have to have a take time off the clock running back. And so we don't have it right now. So that is our problem. Pollard running so wimpy right now is a massive issue for Dallas. And by the way, we're a one-receiver team right now. We're a one-receiver team. Frisco can take him out.
Hold on.
Give me a break.
Hold on. You can say we're
Ferguson didn't catch anything.
You can say we're a one-receiver team in terms of who Dak throws to. No, Brandon Cooks doesn't drop a pass. I mean, that dude catches everything. Dak
No, he's
misses
playing
him.
well. He's
Dak
playing
misses
well.
him by 3 yards. He goes and gets it every time. He throws a fade to the end zone. He'll get both feet down and catch it as he's getting hit. He's a stud. He had the game-winning catch last week against Miami.
The DBs don't respect him like they do CD, so this doesn't matter.
But my point is, you're saying we're a one-receiver team. No, Dak just throws to one guy a lot. But that's not true. Ferguson has been pretty darn good this year.
He has
the second half of the year.
game.
And then Brandon Cooks is still, in my opinion, he's a top number 2 receiver. He could be a number 1 receiver on a lot of teams.
It's done. We don't have
and CeeDee Lamb's uncoverable.
When you want to win a championship or even get 2 games deep in the playoffs, you got to have McCaffrey. You got to have a guy you hand off to like they did in Arizona. That kind of mean back.
Aaron never had that, and they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's an anomaly. They won one, and it's an anomaly. And then when they had what's his name? Who do I like? 33 on Green Bay.
Aaron Jones.
They don't hand to him. So my point is that LaFleur is an idiot. So if you had Aaron Jones on the Cowboys and you had Jimmy Johnson, he'd run that guy 40 times a game until he's dead.
When he's healthy, he's maybe the best back
So
in
my
the league.
point is we don't have that. So our chances of going into the playoffs without that it's over. This is a Mike McCarthy year to show we didn't need Kellen Moore. I have a better offense, so we're going to do what we did with Aaron. We're going to throw the ball in that championship year, the Super Bowl year that they won. That's what he's doing here.
Well, to be
period.
fair,
and he's getting himself a job because if he gets fired, he did do a good job offensively this year. He can get a job.
To be fair to McCarthy, the offense has been significantly better than it was with Kellen
better.
Moore. So
1,000
it's not
times.
Now, the problem is
even Dak finally admits it.
The problem is it's just horrific head coaching, and he can't manage the game. It's similar to Sarkisian. Now, Sarkisian's not as bad as McCarthy.
He's pretty bad.
But Sark, and that's one thing that will happen tonight. Sark will make one major mistake. If he doesn't make a major mistake, they won't lose. But he did it in the Big 12 championship game. He does it every single big game. He did it against Oklahoma. He always makes one big head coaching mistake, time management, taking a penalty, whatever. Maybe it'll happen tonight.
Here's the thing about back to the Dallas game. The bad call on the field is the most controversial call I've seen in 12, 15 years.
Which call?
Since Dez's catch, I've never seen any more activity on a call than the Detroit-Dallas game on Saturday night. Never. On the internet or anywhere around, people talking. So that's one of the most controversial calls next to the rule change that they did for Dez Bryant, which was a catch. So my point to you is that Dallas is in both of those, they're the subject matter. So that goes to show. But my point to you is, so we got the raw end of the stick on the catch, and we got the raw end of the stick on the trip. And so we got a so-called play. I think all it was him trying to trick everybody. I'm glad they lost. I'm glad it's bullshit call by Campbell. It's a bullshit trick play. It didn't work. He prefaced it with talking to the refs before. That was stupid. That even shows his intent. It's premeditated. What we're going to do is we're going to have somebody report. And then they sent 3 guys out for an confusion. It was real smart.
Real quick.
My point is the point is that that's it. That's stupid anyway. Anyway, Dallas.
No, let me say one thing.
Dallas won't. Go ahead.
What's funny about it is that Dallas is so stupid and they're so poorly coached that they didn't even have to trick him. If they just put the one guy in and had him eligible and ran that play, they would have scored on it.
It would have worked.
So what's so stupid about it is that Dan Campbell
he tried to be
tries
sneaky.
to do all this sneaky shit like he's some genius, and it's like, dude, just run the play and you'll score on them. The Cowboys, you could have run the ball. You could have handed the ball up the middle to Jahmyr Gibbs. They would have scored. The Dallas defense was reaming at that point.
Absolutely.
The call was irrelevant, and then
he should have run the ball.
By doing that at that point, they lost all their momentum because instead of like just running, going on kicking the extra point, now Jared Goff's there back at the 7-yard line thinking, shit, I got to get 7 yards here. And now if we don't get it, we lose. Now the pressure's on Detroit. So even on the third play, and the third play was even dumber. They threw to a guy who had one catch on the year, and it was designed for him. And by the way, Jared Goff missed the throw on it. He made a bad throw, or it would have been probably a touchdown or a 2-point conversion.
This is the thing. We'll get in with this.
You said that 10 minutes ago.
Dan Campbell is too stupid to try. Literally, he is. He really is too stupid to try a trick play like that and to trick the officials. He's just too stupid to do it. He set it up. He's obvious. He's Captain Obvious. He's way too stupid to do that play. Mike McCarthy's just as stupid on the set of plays before that got them down. But here's the thing. They let him march down that field. And that goes also on Dan Quinn. That's a bad defensive play. You rush Jared Goff, you blitz him a little bit at least, bring 5, he goofs up. They didn't do anything. They let him march down the field. So that's also on our coaching staff. And by the way, if we get out of the Washington game and then 2 playoff games because of Jimmy, we will win the Super Bowl. All right, so that's it for the day.